The National Security Advisory Committee has announced a raft of restrictions on public or political meetings, among them notifying the police of the day and time of the intended gathering at least 3 days beforehand. The committee has further banned the possession of any weapon in the meetings. This even as the committee directed relevant security organs to enforce the directives to the letter. Speaking in Nairobi, the National Security Advisory Committee expressed concern over the rising political temperatures currently being witnessed in the country.
NSAC noted that the country is experiencing growing political tension that is creating division and pushing sections of politicians and their supporters against perceived opponents. This situation is increasingly polarizing the country along ethno-political lines and therefore undermining national cohesion, peace and security, and derailing our transformative economic agenda.
Subsequently, NSAC has issued a directive that conveners of all public meetings and public processions shall notify the officer commanding station of such intent at least 3 days before the proposed date.
The convener or any person intending to hold a public meeting or a public procession shall A. notify the officer commanding station, OCS, that is OCS, of such intent at least 3 days, but not more than 14 days before the proposed date of the public meeting or procession.
At the same time, the committee has ordered that any person attending or participating in a public meeting or procession shall not be in possession of any weapon and conduct themselves peacefully and non-violently.
Exercise a high degree of civic duty and responsibility, and not to be in possession of any weapon. At all times, bind themselves to the peaceful and non-violent, bid themselves to be peaceful and non-violent, and shall keep to the designated places of public meetings or public processions.
This even as it directed individuals who choose to address any public meeting that they shall be bound by legal penalties and obligations of the National Cohesion and Integration Act, which bars speeches, utterances and messages that border ethnic balkanization.
Which provisions bar speeches, utterances and messages that contain A. offensive, abusive, insulting, misleading, confusing, obscene or profane language. B. inciting, threatening or discriminatory language that may or is intended to expose an individual or group of individuals to violence, hatred, hostility, discrimination or ridicule on the basis of ethnicity, tribe, race, color, religion, gender, disability or otherwise.
All media outlets, according to the security organ, shall be held responsible for content published or broadcasted on their platforms, adding that all social media users shall be held individually liable for their profiles. This even as the committee called on Kenyans to promote peaceful coexistence and security in the country.